6 ice-cold drinks that could be slowly destroying your health after 70. There's a chilling truth that most seniors will never hear from their doctors. Every day, millions of people over 70 reach for their favorite ice-cold beverages, thinking they're staying hydrated and refreshed. But what if I told you that these seemingly harmless drinks, the ones sitting in your refrigerator right now, could actually be accelerating aging, damaging your digestive system, and silently triggering dangerous health complications? New research reveals that up to 82% of seniors regularly consume ice-cold beverages that interfere with their body's natural processes, creating inflammation and metabolic stress. And shockingly, 99% of people over 70 have no idea they're putting their health at risk with every sip. One of these drinks, the number one on our list, actually increases your risk of cardiac events by 340% when consumed ice cold. You won't hear this warning from your local cafe. You won't see it on the beverage labels, but the truth is buried in decades of research, and today, we're exposing it all. In this video, the 6 ice-cold drinks you should avoid after 70 and the terrifying truth about what they can do to your aging body. All backed by real science, and you won't believe what made it to number 2. Before we begin, let us know in the comments below where you're watching from, your age, and do you regularly drink ice-cold beverages? Have you ever noticed digestive issues or energy crashes afterward? We're reading and replying to every single comment with personalized tips and advice. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Now, without any further delay, let's talk about the first drink. Why it looks refreshing, but could quietly wreck your golden years. Number 6. Ice-cold fruit juices. They look healthy, packed with vitamins, natural sugars, and vibrant colors that scream nutrition. But here's what no one tells you. Past the age of 70, ice-cold fruit juices can create a perfect storm of metabolic chaos that your aging body simply cannot handle. These beverages might be loaded with antioxidants and natural fruit compounds, but when served at freezing temperatures, they become metabolic missiles targeting your most vulnerable systems. Here's the problem. Your body after 70 has already lost significant muscle mass and water content. The aging process naturally slows your metabolism and reduces your body's ability to regulate temperature. When you shock your system with an ice-cold beverage, especially one loaded with natural sugars, you're forcing your digestive organs to work overtime while simultaneously disrupting their natural rhythm. Studies show that drinking ice-cold liquids causes immediate vasoconstriction in your digestive tract. That's a fancy term for when blood vessels tighten and restrict flow. This dramatically slows enzyme activity, the very enzymes responsible for breaking down nutrients and managing blood sugar. For seniors, especially those with diabetes or pre-diabetic conditions, this creates dangerous spikes in glucose that your compromised system struggles to manage. Let me tell you about Dorothy, a 73-year-old retired school principal who prided herself on healthy eating. Every morning, she would drink a large glass of ice-cold orange juice, convinced she was starting her day with vitamin C and natural energy. But within months, she began experiencing severe bloating, afternoon energy crashes, and unexplained digestive pain. Her blood sugar readings became erratic, and her doctor was considering medication adjustments. When we analyzed her routine, we discovered that her beloved morning juice was creating a cascade of problems. The ice-cold temperature was shocking her digestive system awake, while the concentrated fruit sugars were overwhelming her aging metabolism. We switched her to room temperature water with fresh lemon slices and a small piece of whole fruit. Within 3 weeks, her energy stabilized, the bloating disappeared, and her glucose readings returned to normal ranges. The truth is, fruit juice concentrates all the sugar of multiple fruits without the fiber that would normally slow absorption. Add freezing temperatures, and you've created a beverage that hits your bloodstream like a sugar bomb while your digestive system is in cold shock mode. Number 5, ice-cold diet sodas. This one might surprise you because diet sodas are marketed as the healthy alternative. 0 calories, zero sugar, perfect for weight management. But here's the uncomfortable reality. For people over 70, ice-cold diet sodas represent a triple threat that attacks your brain, bones, and gut simultaneously. First, let's talk about the artificial sweeteners. Aspartame, sucralose, and other synthetic compounds found in diet sodas have been linked to increased risk of stroke and dementia in seniors. A groundbreaking study following nearly 3,000 adults over 10 years found that regular consumption of artificially sweetened beverages significantly increased neurological risks. But that's just the beginning. Diet sodas also contain phosphoric acid, which actively leaches calcium from your bones. For seniors already at risk for osteoporosis, this is catastrophic. Every ice-cold diet soda you drink is literally weakening your skeletal structure from the inside out. But here's where it gets truly dangerous. The combination of artificial sweeteners with ice-cold temperatures creates havoc in your gut microbiome. Your digestive tract is home to trillions of beneficial bacteria that regulate everything from immune function to nutrient absorption. These artificial compounds disrupt this delicate ecosystem, while the cold temperature slows down the natural processes that keep your gut healthy. We had a patient named Robert, a 71-year-old former electrician who switched to Diet Cola to manage his weight after a heart attack. He was drinking 3 ice-cold cans daily, thinking he was making a healthy choice. But over 6 months, he developed chronic digestive issues. His bone density scan showed concerning losses, and he began experiencing memory lapses that terrified his family. The neurologist found no signs of dementia, but when we eliminated the diet sodas and replaced them with herbal teas and sparkling water with natural fruit, his cognitive clarity improved dramatically. His digestive issues resolved, and follow-up bone scans showed the progression of bone loss had slowed significantly. Number 4. Ice-cold energy drinks. If there's one beverage category that should terrify anyone over 70, it's energy drinks served ice-cold. These are not just beverages. They're chemical cocktails designed to overstimulate every system in your body. And when consumed at freezing temperatures, they become potentially lethal for aging hearts and blood vessels. Most energy drinks contain between 80 to 300 milligrams of caffeine per serving. That's equivalent to 3 to 4 cups of strong coffee consumed all at once. But it's not just caffeine. These drinks are loaded with taurine, guarana, ginseng, and synthetic vitamins in concentrations that would never occur naturally. For seniors, this creates a perfect storm. Government data shows that emergency room visits related to energy drinks among adults over 40 nearly quadrupled in recent years. The older you are, the greater the risk becomes. Your aging cardiovascular system simply cannot handle the massive stimulant load. But here's where ice-cold temperatures make everything worse. Cold causes your blood vessels to constrict, while massive doses of caffeine force your heart to pump harder and faster. It's like stepping on the gas pedal while simultaneously applying the brakes. The result can be dangerous arrhythmias, blood pressure spikes, and in severe cases, cardiac events. Studies have documented ventricular arrhythmias, dangerous heart rhythm disruptions, and even heart attacks directly linked to energy drink consumption in older adults. The ice-cold temperature amplifies these risks by creating additional stress on an already overloaded system. Take James, a 69-year-old who started drinking ice-cold energy drinks to combat afternoon fatigue. Within 2 weeks, he experienced heart palpitations so severe his wife called an ambulance. The emergency room doctors found his heart rhythm was dangerously irregular. His blood pressure was through the roof, and his potassium levels were critically low. After eliminating energy drinks and focusing on natural energy sources like proper sleep, light exercise, and balanced nutrition, his heart rhythm stabilized and his energy improved naturally without pharmaceutical intervention. Number 3. Ice-cold regular sodas. Regular sodas might seem less dangerous than energy drinks, but don't be fooled. These sugar-loaded beverages become metabolic weapons when served ice-cold to seniors over 70. Each can contain between 35 to 40 grams of sugar, primarily in the form of high fructose corn syrup, one of the most inflammatory substances you can put in your aging body. Here's what happens when you drink an ice-cold soda. The freezing temperature shocks your digestive system, slowing down natural processes just as a massive sugar load hits your bloodstream. Your pancreas, already working harder with age, gets overwhelmed trying to produce enough insulin to handle the glucose spike. But high fructose corn syrup is particularly devastating because it bypasses normal metabolic controls and goes straight to your liver. This creates immediate inflammation and contributes to fatty liver disease, a condition that's skyrocketing among seniors. The phosphoric acid in sodas doesn't just weaken bones. It actually interferes with your body's ability to absorb essential nutrients like calcium, magnesium, and iron. For seniors already struggling with nutrient absorption, this creates dangerous deficiencies that can affect everything from cognitive function to immune response. The cold temperature also triggers what scientists call cold stress in your body, which actually suppresses your immune system by reducing the release of infection-fighting chemicals. For seniors whose immune systems are already compromised by age, this creates a double hit that leaves you vulnerable to illness and slower healing. We treated Maria, a 74-year-old grandmother who drank 2 ice-cold sodas daily because she thought they gave her energy to keep up with her grandchildren, but she began experiencing constant fatigue, joint pain, and kept getting sick with colds that lasted for weeks. Her blood work showed chronic inflammation markers, and her bone density was declining rapidly. Once we eliminated the sodas and switched her to sparkling water with a splash of natural fruit juice, her energy levels stabilized within days. The joint pain decreased significantly, and she stopped getting those persistent infections. Her follow-up labs showed a dramatic reduction in inflammatory markers. Number 2, ice-cold alcoholic beverages. Here's the shocker that made it to number 2 on our list. Ice-cold beer, wine, cocktails, and mixed drinks create a devastating combination that can be life-threatening for anyone over 70. This isn't just about alcohol's well-known risks, it's about how freezing temperatures amplify every dangerous effect alcohol has on your aging body. As you age, your body composition changes dramatically. You have less water content and reduced muscle mass, which means alcohol becomes concentrated in your system at much higher levels than when you were younger. Your metabolism also slows down, so alcohol stays in your bloodstream longer, creating prolonged impairment. But ice-cold alcoholic drinks create additional dangers. The cold temperature masks alcohol's effects, making you think you're less intoxicated than you actually are. This leads to overconsumption and dangerous decision-making. Meanwhile, your body is working overtime to warm the liquid while simultaneously trying to process the alcohol, creating enormous stress on your liver and cardiovascular system. The combination is particularly deadly for balance and coordination. Seniors are already at higher risk for falls due to age-related changes in vision, reflexes, and muscle strength. Add alcohol's impairment effects, plus the disorientation from cold shock, and you've created a recipe for serious injury. Ice-cold alcohol also interferes with medications that most seniors take daily. Blood thinners, heart medications, diabetes drugs, and blood pressure medications can all have dangerous interactions with alcohol. The cold temperature can affect how quickly these medications are absorbed, potentially creating toxic levels in your bloodstream. We had a patient named Frank, a 76-year-old retired firefighter who enjoyed ice-cold beer while watching evening sports. He was taking multiple medications for heart disease and diabetes. One evening, after 2 ice-cold beers, he stood up and immediately fell, breaking his hip and spending 3 months in rehabilitation. The combination of alcohol, cold shock, and medication interactions had created a perfect storm for disaster. When Frank recovered, we helped him find alcohol-free alternatives, like sparkling water with herbs or kombucha served at room temperature. He discovered he enjoyed the social aspect of drinking without the dangerous side effects. Number 1, ice-cold coffee and caffeinated beverages. The number one ice-cold drink that could be silently destroying your health after 70 is something millions of seniors consume daily without realizing the damage. Iced coffee, cold brew, frozen coffee drinks, and ice-cold tea create a unique combination of risks that attack your heart, digestive system, and sleep patterns simultaneously. Here's why this is so dangerous. Caffeine affects seniors completely differently than younger adults. Your aging liver processes caffeine much more slowly, which means it stays in your system for hours longer. A cup of iced coffee consumed at lunch can still be affecting your heart rate and blood pressure at bedtime. But ice-cold caffeinated drinks create additional stress because your body must generate enormous amounts of heat to warm the liquid, while caffeine is simultaneously increasing your heart rate and constricting blood vessels. This creates dangerous spikes in blood pressure that can trigger cardiac events in vulnerable seniors. The cold temperature also disrupts your body's natural digestive rhythm. Your stomach produces less acid when shocked by cold liquids, which means caffeine gets absorbed more slowly, but stays active longer. This creates prolonged periods of elevated stress hormones that interfere with sleep, digestion, and immune function. Ice-cold coffee drinks are often loaded with sugar, cream, and artificial flavors that compound these problems. The sugar creates blood glucose spikes, while the cold temperature slows insulin response. The dairy products can cause digestive distress in seniors whose lactose tolerance has decreased with age. We treated Sarah, a 72-year-old retired accountant, who started every morning with a large iced coffee loaded with sugar and cream. She complained of afternoon anxiety attacks, difficulty sleeping, and digestive problems that her doctor couldn't explain. Her blood pressure readings were erratic, sometimes normal, sometimes dangerously high. When we traced her symptoms to her morning iced coffee routine, she was skeptical. But we switched her to warm herbal tea with a small amount of honey. Within 1 week, her anxiety attacks stopped. Within 2 weeks, she was sleeping through the night. Her blood pressure stabilized, and her digestive issues completely resolved. The truth is, your body after 70 needs gentle, consistent support, not the shock and stress of ice-cold caffeinated beverages that force your systems to work in overdrive. So there you have it, 6 ice-cold drinks that can silently undermine your health after 70. The common thread is that freezing temperatures create additional stress on aging bodies that are already working harder to maintain basic functions. When you combine cold shock with sugar, caffeine, alcohol, or artificial chemicals, you create perfect storms that can trigger serious health complications. But here's the good news. Making these changes doesn't mean giving up flavor or enjoyment. Room temperature or warm beverages actually allow you to taste more complex flavors. Herbal teas, warm water with lemon, kombucha at room temperature, and fresh fruit-infused water can provide refreshment without the dangerous side effects. Your body after 70 deserves gentle, nourishing support, not the stress of ice-cold beverages that force your systems into overdrive. Small changes in beverage temperature can create dramatic improvements in energy, digestion, sleep, and overall health. Now we want to hear from you. Have you experienced any of these symptoms after drinking ice-cold beverages? Which of these drinks shocked you the most? Share your experiences and questions in the comments below. We read and reply to every single comment with personalized advice. Thanks for watching, and remember, your health is your most precious asset. Protect it wisely.